This is wild. Bungie has just shut down Destiny 2 a couple days into it because they have to issue a massive patch fixing some of these game-breaking issues. What exactly are these issues, and why is the game going to be down for 2 hours just 2 days into the launch? Well, the biggest one is probably the Xbox crashing issue. If you don't know right now, pour one out for the homies that are playing on Xbox, okay? Bungie has put you into purgatory, all right? With the launch of Edge of Fate, you were put into the Shadow Realm. Because if you play on Xbox, your game crashes. It doesn't even work for a lot of players out there. Some Xbox players report not having this issue, but there's a good enough amount of players that Bungie had to actually address this as their top 3 concerns. Right here, they said that the Edge of Fate campaign blocker on the second and third characters was their first and most important concern. So that way you can beat the campaign on your second and third character without getting soft locked, right? And then they also said that when you create a new character, you would lose all of your unstable cores. So you lose all of your new currency just by creating a new character. That has since been fixed. On July 16th, they fixed both of those, as you can see right here. But they still have not fixed additional Xbox crash issues. And I think that this one is going to require a much bigger patch. And that's why we're doing it now, because, barring the Xbox players out from playing the new expansion is pretty bad. They're paying customers as well, and everyone should be able to play the content if they paid for it, right? So that's getting fixed. And what's crazy to me as well is that this is the list of known issues and vital information, and there is no mention on this entire Christmas list here of bugged things, of Vault of Glass crashing your game upon launch. If you launch Vault of Glass right now, your game will hard crash. Like, just the cutscene will go. As soon as it's done, you're out. The game closes completely every time, and it's bad. So don't launch Vault of Glass. And Duality, the dungeon, has a crazy soft lock, also is not mentioned in here. Now, not a lot of people are in VOG or Duality right now. Let's be honest. You're playing the new stuff, or you're grinding Pinnacle Ops probably. Maybe you're roaming around in the portal, etc., right? You're getting ready for the raid, I imagine, most of you. But those are super bugged, and it's not even mentioned on this crazy list of Edge of Fate known issues that's getting updated as we speak. So those do need to be fixed. They might be fixed with this great big patch that's going on right here. Maybe Bungie's just leaving it in the back. On top of that, we obviously have the issue of Encore, which was recently disabled. This was easily perceived by the Destiny 2 community to be one of the most controversial decisions, because if you don't know, Bungie has created a massive power grind. That's a huge time sink right now. Basically, you launch into Destiny 2 Edge of Fate at 10 power now, and you need to grind up very slowly to 400 power. Once you hit 400 power, it's only then that you'll begin to unlock tier 4 armor and weapons. So you want to get to 400 power as fast as possible. Because, for example, if you got a God Roll hand cannon, right? And it's a tier 1 version, well, you kind of didn't get a God Roll hand cannon then, because you really want to get the tier 4 or tier 5 version of it. So you have enhanced all the other perks on it and everything else, and mods and everything, right? You really want to get the tier 5 version of your God Rolls in the future, and your armor as well. So naturally, everyone wants to get up to that power cap as quickly as possible. And Bungie has created a rat race, a sort of carrot on the end of the stick, where you have to grind about 90 hours, according to our estimations, in order to go from power level 10 to power level 400. However, because Encore was a really fast mission that we could fly through much faster than Bungie anticipated, we were able to clear it in like 10 minutes, and you get like 4 or 5 drops every single time. So people were able to power level really, really fast. And Bungie said, not so fast. We're going to slow you down a little bit here. We don't want you to hit that power level 400 cap so fast. So they literally removed the mission. Not because it was bugged, not because it was broken, but they just removed it because we were power leveling too efficiently. And that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. We don't want to be doing this mindless, meaningless, repetitive power leveling over and over again and make this grind take even longer than necessary. We just want to get to the max power as quickly and as efficiently as possible, right? This is how we've done things for the last 11 years as a Destiny player, right? No one's out here trying to make the 90-hour grind a 150-hour grind, right? No one has that kind of time, all right? Even if you're like a super casual player, you don't have that kind of time. You're just trying to get to the max power so you can get the good loot as quickly as possible, right? Will they re-enable Encore here after this huge patch goes out? There's a chance they might, and if they did, they probably would lower the loot drops, if anything, right? If it did drop with about 5 drops, I could see them lowering it to 4 or maybe even 3, so that way, hey, you guys can still grind Encore, but you're not going to be power leveling as efficiently as you were before. That still might rub the community the wrong way, though. We'll see what they end up choosing to do with that. But I've seen so much backlash over this encore issue. It's wild. I mean, people are getting mad about a lot of things in Destiny 2, but Bungie trying to just make the meaningless power grind more monotonous and more time consuming is really a bad approach. I get that maybe for the long-term run of this era of Destiny 2, they don't want everyone to reach max power so fast, but making us do a bunch of old activities 1,000 times over again is still not the right way to make this happen. All right, Bungie, you're gonna have to find a better way to make Destiny 2 players artificially play the game for longer. Now, what else is bugged? Conquests are bugged right now. Hit markers are bugged. Countless weapons and perks are bugged. Look at this right here. The third iteration, obviously we talked about this. This scout rifle is doing like power weapon damage. It's crazy. Just slap on anti-barrier and it's going crazy. Maybe they fixed that. Only time will tell. Then we have Vex Mythoclast. Rate of fire is incorrect. It's currently firing at 300 RPM instead of 360, so don't use Vex now. It's going to be doing less damage. The Queenbreaker no longer blinds on single shot mode, and a lot of people in the community were wondering, like, is Bungie just randomly pushing out stealth nerfs and trying to get away with it? But they actually had to respond saying no, that they're not doing that, and they issued an apology, which is pretty wild, and we'll go over that in a minute here. The Graviton Spike exotic hand cannon is missing its lore tab, which I'm very curious to see what its lore tab is, see if it has some interesting lore on it. The glaive melee attacks do not activate bolt charge. Remnants from Thorn do not spawn tank, has a bug. Sleeper Simulant has a bug. All right. On top of this, we've got all these armor and perks that also have bugs. Spirit of the Liar, Wishful Ignorance, Matadoxia, various armor set perks, Mask of Bakris, Chain Piston, Heart's Purity, Taking Flight Holochip, the Distribution mod, Secant Filaments, and Spirit Filaments. I mean, there's just countless bugs in the game here. Bungie has to issue a massive fix just before the raid launches to make sure that there's nothing too bugged or too crazy inside the raid. But even after this does get fixed, there will still be a disabled list that Bungie is working with. This is the current disabled list for Destiny 2 items. We got the Outbreak, third iteration, Choir of One, Icebreaker, and then the Distribution Armor mod, all being disabled as it stands right now. And of course, after their new patch goes live, then we'll have to update this list and see what they do. They can add something to this at the very last second too, so you'll want to make sure you pay attention to this, and we'll keep you up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. But let me know what you think about the servers going down for several hours right now. Just days into a new expansion, and we're already experiencing several hours of downtime during peak playing hours as well, need I remind you, right? This is probably not the best time to issue a patch overall. You should probably do it during the low valleys. Like, we've been talking a lot about the population of Destiny 2, especially for the Edge of Fate. We didn't quite meet a 100,000 players on the launch of Steam, which is pretty wild because in the last 3 annual expansions, we hit around 300,000. So we are way down in population, and to hit players with a 2-hour downtime right in the middle of peak playing hours, definitely not the best look for Bungie. I understand that they need to issue some emergency maintenance, especially when you look at that like Matterspark issue. I don't know if you've seen clips of Matterspark, or if you've used it, but if you like walk into it when you interact with it, it'll spin your screen around like a full 360. It's really disorienting. And sometimes when you're roaming around with Matterspark, you can get like crazy screen flickering. So it's like a massive seizure warning. Probably something that Bungie is fixing with this patch, I would imagine. Like the Matterspark glitch is something they probably need to update as quickly as possible. But let me know what you think about the situation down in the comment section below. As always, I'll be reading your comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all things Destiny 2. We'll see you in the next one. Later.